I'm Joey Burton, and I'm here with my guy Mike Robertson. Mike is a sports performance coach and owner of iFast. He works with all of my NBA, professional, and college athletes. And we're just going to have a discussion about some of the things that happen on the court and how it translates to the gym or to the sports performance lab off the court. So, Mike, I'm looking forward to really getting your wisdom and some of the things that you do to help players become better on the court.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. It's going to be fun.
So one of the things I'm really working with players on finishing is deceleration. So many times coaches and skill development guys are focused on explosiveness, getting past the defender, but I've really been studying finishing over the last year, and the deceleration steps are so critical in being able to be efficient at finishing, but it also creates separation from the defender. Sure. And I just want to get some of your teaching points from a sports performance perspective on how would you teach to decelerate with deceleration steps. Yep. So if I'm driving in and I got this defender's momentum going downhill, I'm going to want to come to the stop. And it has to be a single step stop. It can't be a multiple step stop. And so when I come in here and I stop, I want to be able to stop, but also slow down, decelerate, and then be explosive. And let's say we're doing a Euro into the finish. And so what are some of the teaching points you work on from a sports performance perspective to make that stop efficient and then also be in an athletic posture to be able to explode out of that move?
Yeah, I think one of the big things, and it's like a negative, but I feel like a lot of times people think you have to be on your toes all the time in basketball. And the fact of the matter is, if you're trying to stop on your toes in that position, it's incredibly hard, and you definitely can't do it if you've got a lot of momentum and a full head of steam. So one of the big things that we're going to teach our clients and our athletes is find your heel, right? So if you're coming downhill, you've got to find your heel, so your foot is going to be behind your torso. You're going to come here, you can see your knee's going to rock over your toe, and that's going to give you the strength to push out of that, right? So if you're coming in hard, you've got to find the heel, going to transition over, and then you're going to go into your Euro step. So don't be afraid of finding a heel. Don't be afraid of a knee coming over a toe, because those are things you have to be able to do to break, stop yourself, and push out of it.
And I think with the higher level clients and the NBA players you work with, a lot of times they're so used to being on their toes, it's really hard to get them to feel their heels, right? And so with the NBA client, you might want them to really focus on that heel, where maybe a used client, you want them to still focus on the heel, but you're going to have to get them into a position to be able to explode and be explosive out of that position, right?
Absolutely.
And so when we're driving in, we want to make sure we're getting into this heel-toe stop, getting our knees over our toes, and that puts us in that position to explode through the step or explode with the powerful step to our left so that we can finish with like a Euro step there.
Absolutely. So with our pro guys, a lot of times early on, we're going to have this big emphasis on shifting their weight back, finding their heels. That could be in the weight room with like squatting, lunging, split squat variations. With our young athletes, a lot of times they need a bigger motor, right? So one of the things that you can do, like let's say you have no equipment at all.
Yeah.
Like literally you can work on body weight lunges, right? So you're finding your heel, and you can see naturally, like the knee's going to come over the toe. Yeah. So you can start there. Once you've mastered that, you can literally do like jump and hold forward, right? And progressively get further and more aggressive with your jumps. But we talked about this before. At some point, you got to get comfortable doing the actual move. Yeah. So then it's just like, okay, hey, I'm going to start in really close, and I'm going to do one step, so there's not a lot of momentum, and then over time, progressively work your way back. So there's more momentum, a bigger step forward, so you got to really work to slow yourself down.
And then once that's mastered, I love to have live defenders to work on finishing to really get that full game concept.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, doing some of those exercises, would you suggest that as maybe a warm-up, as you could get your players moving? So now they're using a warm-up that will directly translate to something that they're going to be doing in the game.
For sure. And it depends on the level of the athlete, right? So if you've got like a 10-year-old that hasn't done a lot of this stuff, that may be actually part of their workout, but especially as you progress, like lunging, squatting, all those positions, those are incorporated into our warm-ups, especially as the athlete moves on because they're more prepared, and it's just a common move that they need to train every day they're in the gym.
That's great. Well, we really hope that this video will help you get players to decelerate, get them in an athletic posture so that they could explode out of an athletic position and that they could be the best basketball player that they could become.